This comment that I'm a traitor to my white race is probably the number one comment I get. I get a lot of nasty stuff and threats, whatever, bring it on. This is it. It's because I'm a white person saying this. When a black person says this, they get called the N-word or go back to your country. When a white person like me says it, you're a traitor to your race. Well, the reality is that our race has treated everybody like absolute dog shit in this country since 1619. People like him and MAGA don't want to see America for what it is. They see it for what they want it to be. They don't want the red, white, and blue. They just want the white. They want to go back to segregation in some legal way. They're triggered by that. I would guarantee you, if I had a conversation with 100 Trump supporters, maybe one might even have heard of what the talk is or the middle passage. They have no idea what that is because they don't care. White people like me that have this conversation, I am a mirror that they look at and they don't like what they see. Telling them the true history impedes on American exceptionalism, on our greatness and bald eagles and crosses and flags and all this other crap. Because they think that we're the bee's knees and we're not. We've never been great for everybody. And I use this metaphor in a lot of my videos. When alcoholics or drug addicts that go to counseling, the first thing you have to do is say, hi, my name is Paul. I'm an alcoholic, right? Hi, I'm a white person. We are not a great country for everybody. Hi, my name is Paul. I'm a white person. White supremacy is why we're here. Because mediocre white men like that voted for a pedophile, an adjudicated rapist, a sexual predator, a felon, a guy who calls women fat and ugly in an insurrection because they didn't want to vote for the black woman. Mediocre white men like him with micro penises need a gun to feel like a real man. They have to tear people down to feel like a real man. They need to get in fights and threaten people to feel like a real man. It is the same across all the MAGA. They're all angry, pissed off white people. It's decades and generations of white entitlement. They think because they're born white that they somehow just have this God-given right to just conquer the entire damn universe. Greenland? Yeah, I want that. Black people? Yep, I want that. Hawaii? Yep, we'll take that. Oh, is that land from Mexico's? Oh, we'll take that. Native Americans? Yeah, I really want that land. Sorry, we're going to have to murder you. That's all white people have done. We're like locusts. We're a disease on this country. We just are. But I am a reflection of that because I'm telling white people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And more white people have to have this conversation. It doesn't matter how many black people say what I'm saying. It has to come from people like me. Because white people, we're the damn problem. Whether you like it or not. And it's interesting that yesterday we celebrated Martin Luther King Day because there's still too many white people that are sitting in their privilege. And I do wonder if more white people that look like me stood with our black brothers and sisters during the civil rights movement instead of sitting behind their privilege. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect me. Would we still be in this situation? Now, maybe it would still be here, but it wouldn't be as bad. Maybe we would have had more progress. But white people have let it get to this point. We did not punish the Confederacy. And we allowed white people to create this version of the Civil War that's a lie. That it was about states' rights. It was about slavery. And there are white people that don't want to hear that. That's why they call me a traitor to the race. Well, the white race is just white. If you don't like the truth, then you're welcome to ship your ass back to England. Do you have your paperwork? Do you have your documentation? Or did you just land here on a boat? That's what I thought. We're all undocumented immigrants, and you don't like to hear that. And for that mediocre white man, let's just be very clear. You had no problem voting for that piece of human garbage in the White House, but you have every joy about demonizing Martin Luther King, who actually stood for something, or demonize immigrants who have been here for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, who were doing the job that your little lazy, micro-penis, mediocre white man ass is unwilling to do. So why don't you go shove your white supremacy back up your ass, Bobby? Why don't you go start a channel with your actual name and put content out there and stand on business? But you won't. Because people like him are cowards. They're trolls looking for attention. And when you look at the demographic, it is consistent. Insecure little white boys who feel like America's leaving them behind because women are in places of power, Asians, Latinos, Latinas, Hispanics, Muslims, Somalians, anybody that doesn't fit into their white male patriarchy, they don't know what to do with it. It is impeding on their version of traditional family values, which is white America. Their version of white America, and I'll leave you with this thought, is the iconic photo of a white kid sitting next to a white cop in a white ice cream shop being served by a white ice cream server. Black people were not allowed to go in there, just for the record. But that's their version of traditional family values. It's white. Have a white day.